Taurus, this is your April 2013 forecast. I'm going to start off the month with a lot of planetary influence in your 12th house. The 12th house is a house of rest and recuperation for the most part. It's a much more internalizing focus. It's not very social and outward. It's kind of recouping before you get back into your first house, which is much more all about you and social and starting off the next year. This is kind of a time when you can recap what went on through the past year, think about what your goals will be moving forward, but much more of a quiet time. It's also a house of institutions, so hospitals, schools, universities, even jails. It's a house of secrets, so it can be a little bit of a darker influence, and this is where your focus will be. So you could find some things like some secrets that you're aware of, or gossip going on, or maybe you're caring for someone that's in a hospital. There's a lot of focus based on that part of your chart. And then and there's also a new moon, on the 10th in that same house. So new moons tend to signal the beginning of something. So maybe, I don't know, with that kind of weird part of your chart, it might be maybe there sparks a new, secret or gossipy issue going on. I hope not, or I hope it has nothing to do with the hospital visit as well, but that's where the focus will be. About mid-month to the third week into April, the focus will shift to your first house, which is a much more extroverted, kind of all about you type of house. This is definitely about your goals and how you're moving forward. It's about your ego, what you really want, and it's a way for you to just kind of put forth those goals of how you want your next year to go. It's the beginning of your cycle in your chart, and you're able to really focus on what you want and where you want to be by the time this time comes around next year. Mercury will be in your 11th house in the beginning of the month. Mercury is a planet of communication, and your 11th house is the house of networking, social events, things like that. So interesting that your communication planet is going to be in this very social part of your chart, but the rest of your planets are going to be in a very kind of introverted part of your chart. So it'll be an interesting juxtaposition there, where things should go fairly smoothly with your 12th house, but with Mercury there will be a lot of communication. Maybe you're just preparing for something and there's a lot of communication with regards to an event that's coming up within a networking kind of institution. And then that will go mid-month into your an area into your 12th, which is really communication with regards to that. It'll probably be a much quieter time with regards to communication. It's your house, maybe you're communicating with someone that is in the hospital, or even in a jail, or maybe there'll be a little bit of a focus on that gossip and some kind of secret that's going on. Pluto, it will go retrograde on the 13th of April, and Pluto is in your 9th house. Your 9th house is the house of foreign travel, foreigners, education, and Pluto is the planet of structure. And what it tends to do is break down that structure and rebuild. It's kind of like a rebirth. So that influence is going to be in your ninth house for quite a while, but this month it's actually going retrograde. And retrograde tends to take those things that you kind of swept under the rug, and it makes you revisit them and actually work through them. So any issues or concerns that you've had with regards to your ninth house, maybe you were communicating with foreigners, maybe you're traveling a lot to foreign countries, working in foreign countries, or maybe you are going to school. This will kind of make you revisit any kind of issue that you maybe have been putting on the back burner, and help you start anew with that. Kind of build a new project and rebuild that structure really that you have, and maybe even renew a commitment. So say, for example, if it's school, and maybe you've kind of been, putting it off a little bit and not really working very hard. This influence, and this will be around for a while, a few months, so you'll want to pay attention to when it hits your natal planets. But it can kind of force you to revisit that and possibly look at, getting back involved in it. And, I really do want to pass. What am I going to school for? I need to start working on this. And so it'll force you to kind of revisit that and work on it and rectify it. So yeah, that'll be an interesting influence. But like I said, you'll want to check your natal chart to see how you're going to be influenced and when you're going to be influenced, since it is going to be around for a while. There's a lunar eclipse on the 25th in your 7th house. You might see some kind of lunar eclipses tend to be a little bit more emotional. So it's possible that with this in your 7th house, maybe something's coming to an end with a partnership. And maybe there's some kind of breakdown with regards to, or just the end of some kind of issue that you've had. Maybe you'll break up at this time. Maybe you will change business partners. The 7th house is partnerships, but not necessarily just romantic. It could be with regards to business. So it'll be interesting to see how that influence plays out as well. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear them. Please go to my webpage. There's a much more detailed forecast at astrologykiki.com. I have it all written out with dates and time frames and much more detail at astrologykiki.com. Thank you.